Precious Muir, a former Playboy bunny, has recently revealed the horrifying things that went on at Diddy's famous white parties, where she says she felt like fresh meat.
And I never spoke up, during that period of time because I feared for my life. Like, I was alone in New York. I had no family there. If I said the wrong thing, what could happen to me? I'm in a foreign country.
In an interview with the Mirror US, Precious reflected on her early days as a model in New York City during the 2000s, a time when she was invited to one of these exclusive events hosted by Diddy.
I never took any of the shots they tried to give me. I never drank anything they handed to me. The only time I would take, a bottle, right? So the rappers would often open the bottles of champagne, or the hostess would open the bottle of champagne, and they would hand me a freshly opened bottle of champagne, and I would drink that champagne, and that would be my champagne for the whole night. If I had put it down or left it anywhere, I would drink it again. I was so traumatized by the incident that happened to me. I don't think I was able to get over it. So I told all my girlfriends who were models, do not drink from anybody. Do not take any of the shots they give you, and do not do drugs with them. If you're a person that participates in drugs, get your own drugs, right? Don't give yourself, don't become vulnerable to these people because you don't know where it's going to lead.
She explained that she was invited by a VIP host to the highly exclusive invite-only party, and that Diddy's team even provided a car service to transport a group of models to the event. As Precious recalled, Diddy provided black SUVs to shuttle the young women to his much-publicized white parties.
Could you see the other phases though in your peripheral at least? Like
I could see the progression of the party and where it was going. I was fully aware of where it was going. All day everyone's drinking, all day everyone's taking, whoever participates in. Everyone's all over each other by then, kissing, touching, groping. Girls are half naked, fully naked in the pool, jumping and God knows, there was loads of things that I saw. And kissing and groping and touching and fondling, and I heard sex in the bathrooms. Walking past bedrooms, I heard sex going on as well. People do drugs in the bathrooms, come out. I've seen residue of whatever they've just left behind with whatever the thing that they was using to sniff the substance. Once you've been there all day, where do you think it's going to go?
How much did Hollywood and all these people that are there really know, to the extent that it went, do you think? Because there's a lot of sort of excuses going around, like, oh, it was consensual. Like, this happens in Hollywood. Like, is it safe to say they all knew what was going on?
Let's put it this way. A young lady from London, England, comes over and goes to her first party in the Hamptons in 2007, and she figures it out within the few hours that she's there what it's about. So you tell me if they know about it.
Precious had hoped the event would help her career, but instead, she felt objectified. She described feeling vulnerable at the party, where she and other young models, who were new to the industry, stood out.
The fact that you have children in attendance. Now, I said I saw children at the Hamptons parties because I did. I saw them with maybe who they are with, but people brought their children to parties of this nature. At least with Playboy, he kept those parties separate. That is the only significant difference that I could really see and say, hey, at least Playboy didn't allow children to come into an adult space. I think parents that are involved in this situation must be held accountable.
She went on to claim that the entertainment industry is full of individuals like Diddy. He may be the king of parties, but he did not create this. He has learned this behavior from somebody else, she alleged, implying that there's a darker side to these glamorous events. Precious suggested there's a pattern in the entertainment industry where both women and men are taken advantage of.
Hollywood is full of these people. So it's hard to say not to go to this party and that party because of that person that who's done this. It's too difficult. It's so difficult. And back then, as I said, there's no social media. There was no Instagram, there was no MySpace, there was no, well, there was MySpace, there was no Facebook or anything that was really a part of creating your career like it is now. And so you had to do those parties to be able to be around those kind of people to elevate your career. And I was able to do that, and there was positives. I mean, I basically met at a Diddy party a person who put me in touch with somebody who worked at MTV, and basically I was casted as a Hip Hop Squares green room model. So season 1, I was part of the Hip Hop Squares on MTV. I was a green room model, and I met every single talent that attended on that cast and on that show. And so, you know, that came from attending a Diddy party. That connection came from there. So there were positives. I did actually meet people. I did gain jobs. I did get photo shoots. I did get paid work out of the result of attending those events. So there were positives to why I kept going back.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, those experiences are always going to be with you in the back of your mind, because you're like, wow, I put myself at risk to be a part of this, you know, crowd. But then, hey, you know, I got a job on MTV. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's not as easy as black and white, like everyone says. Like, why did you keep going back? I was like, well, you know, you're encouraged by your agent to go back. That's the reason.
Precious Muir shared more details about her experiences at Diddy's white parties, recalling how she avoided any offers of suspicious substances. Gene Deal believes this was Diddy's MO, and he learned this from some very big names.
Some dudes belong in jail based on what they do and how they do it. We know that to be true. And it's just this situation, man, when they get down to all the facts and all what happened, he may belong in jail, bruh. And that's not my doing. That's not Cassie doing. That's his doing and his learned behavior from the people that mentored him. You gotta realize, man, he learned from Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons. He learned from Clyde Davis. You understand? When those people are telling you that they were heavy into the drugs, they was heavy into beating women and doing things at that age, at that crazy stage, that's gonna make him think that he could get away with the same thing that they was getting away with back then. You understand? The things that he was saying, you know, the touchy-feely between two men and all that stuff like that, man. All that, he learned that from them dudes. When I told y'all the story, when me and my man went up to Russell Simmons and he had a house and he had a man in bikini drawers in his bedroom, in his bed. You understand? Bruh, this is that he learned. I'm assuming he learned it from them. Let me put that. And I'm not gonna say alleged, because I saw that for my own self. My man was with me, Slick was with me, and we saw that for our own self. You understand what I'm saying? So these are behaviors and things that with and all the stuff that's going on, pills, drinking, it can make this man into a monster, and that's what it did, bruh. It made him into a monster, bruh.
When it came to behavior at the parties, Precious pointed out that rappers were often the most aggressive. She noted that security would step in if guests tried to take photos, as privacy was strictly enforced.
I've seen comments in some of your pieces that are like, why didn't she say anything? She stays silent. Can you sort of explain? Because I understand why you didn't. At the same time, as you're meeting Diddy, there's a fear to it as well, right? Not only of losing the work, but Diddy had it seemed, a aura of power and attitude that I imagine also made it hard for anyone to sort of call out at the time. Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, when I first met him, he has this aura about him. He has a way, he just has something that he has a kind side, as it were, because he's talking to you, but you do fear him because you're like, you don't know what his next move is going to be. You don't know what he's going to respond or what he's going to say. And he is very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, you know, it is scary because you think, you know, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your career. You know, if you say the wrong thing or you complain or you know, I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing. Or, you know, when they're constantly asking, would you like to do drugs? And you're like, well, I don't do drugs. And they're like, well, why don't you do drugs? And so, like, it's a form of manipulation, and you are afraid as a new talent because you don't want to piss them off.
One of the more unsettling aspects of these parties, according to Precious, was the presence of young children during the day. Although the wilder side of the event unfolded later in the evening, she noted that even during the day, kids were exposed to inappropriate behavior.
I would say this, when I used to attend the parties, there was many industry executives, right? Executives that are much higher up in the industry than Diddy will ever be. They were there. I met them. And those people that were there at the parties, there was a lot of executives that were present who are fully aware of certain things. I'm very certain of that. Because there's no way you could be present and not know.
And maybe even went to those other phases of the party. Like you said, anybody there knew where it was headed. So I will ask that as we wrap it up.
That's why I got the hell out of there.
Smart. Did you see walls of baby oil? I don't mean to make light of it, but my God.
I don't know. Now,
that's a lot of baby oil, no?
I never saw any baby oil. So I guess I missed out on that part because everyone was obsessed about this. I saw condoms, I saw condom wrappers, I saw drugs, I saw loads and loads and loads and loads of alcohol. I never saw this baby oil that they keep going on about. So I guess I missed out on that. I don't know. I never saw any of that.
As the night continued, the parties became even more extreme. Precious described the arrival of women who looked like video vixens and porn stars, saying those types of girls would do anything. They were grinding and dancing on platforms. Another disturbing detail Precious revealed was that there were cameras placed throughout the house, recording activity in each room.
No, I think Diddy's cameras were very, very hidden in the sense that I wasn't fully aware of visually seeing them, but I was told that there are security cameras. And, you know, there was speak of NDAs. And because obviously I didn't go to phase 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever else is later on down the line, I never signed a single NDA. Every single party I went to, I have never signed an NDA.
That's interesting. So because you mentioned as phases, so is that what it is? Because there other women have talked about going into the other rooms or other parts like the after party. Is that how you would label it? There are phases of the party?
There is no way that you are in the phases further down the line after the main event and you're not participating in any way. And that is when the NDAs come out. So if you are now further down the line, phase 2, 3, 4 parts of the party, you have definitely signed an NDA. Your phone is no longer with you. And I'm certain that you somehow participating in some way. There is no way, it's not a viewing party. You can't be in a room when everyone else is doing their thing and you're just observing on the sideline. There is no way. So anyone that says to me that they were part of the freak-off section of the party and not just at the main Hamptons house or main, vodka house party, there is no way that you would be part of that and not participating. Now we need to ask, was it willingly? Were you being forced to participate? Were you even conscious if you were participating? Now, those are the major questions. But if you were attending the freak-off part of the party, you were definitely in some form, in some way, participating.
Rumors have swirled in Hollywood about Diddy secretly recording his A-list guests during these parties, potentially holding on to compromising footage that some fear could surface during his trial.
it's not just about Diddy. It's not just about these other people around him. This is also happening amongst other parts of the entertainment industry as well. He is just one man. There is multiple monsters amongst this kind of crazy inner circle that we're in.
There are stories of celebrities buying these tapes. These instances sort of remove themselves from the equation. What is your opinion on that? And do you have anything you've heard or you care to share? I mean, do you like to hear this, that some of these celebrities are going to be able to buy themselves out of this?
No, I don't like that. I don't like the fact that, some of the people that are involved in the situation in some way are able to just compensate the victims without it being public, because then it doesn't stop the issue. It doesn't stop them from possibly doing it again further down the line. The real reason that we're supposed to be speaking up and saying it is not about compensation. It's not about giving that victim X amount of money so they can shut up. That's not the reason. The whole movement of this situation is to prevent monsters from violating and creating spaces that make young people, young talent, uncomfortable. The more we keep not talking about it and allowing these monsters to keep this whole process going, it's only going to get worse, and the next generation has to deal with it, and the next generation has to deal with it. When does it stop? No point of these celebrities paying off the victims. We need to know who it was and what they did, so then it doesn't happen again.
Gene Deal has also revealed that Diddy did all this to have blackmail material on the biggest names in Hollywood.
They praying that they not on the tape, doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking, and they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape, because if he had 250 tapes all over, 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched. And Brother Love was watching.
Yeah, I mean, TD Jakes, he hasn't even came out and said anything. And him and Diddy was real cool.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, man. And I know the people in the congregation over there is shaking in their boots, because this man then led them probably, allegedly probably led them to damnation, because those people's hearts are gonna be broken if that man is seen on those tapes doing anything. Because people always put their faith in the pastor instead of putting their faith in God. And what they need to do is understand that he's just a man. And he has a history. It's not looking too good for him.
So you feel like celebs are worried that they might be on tape?
Oh, they know. That's why they ain't speaking up or saying nothing.
Several celebrities have been rumored to have attended Diddy's infamous parties over the years. Ashton Kutcher, for example, hinted at his experiences during a 2019 interview on Hot Ones.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together.
He described his relationship with Diddy as really bizarre, noting it all started with Punk'd. Kelly Ripa, meanwhile, expressed an interest in attending one of Diddy's parties.
Yeah, I was on his boat at that time.
That's his
Because it wasn't a boat.
Yeah.
And I just took a picture there, and that's.
Don't you love Capri?
I love it.
Isn't
It's
it beautiful? You know,
out
we
there.
honeymoon there.
I heard. I know.
Yeah. It's a very special place for us.
Next time you go on Puff's boat, we would like.
Well, I had my own boat. I just visited his. I was on my own yacht.
I'd rather be
I
on
was
your
just
boat.
visiting.
All respect to
We'll
Puff.
sacrifice ourselves
visit
and
my
go on
boat.
your boat.
Usher, who lived with Diddy for a year in the 90s when he was a teenager, shared his own experience during a 2016 interview on The Howard Stern Show.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to
City.
something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn some...
Flavor camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In
to...
the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle,
Right.
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. It was,
So nobody
it was
tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say
and,
that.
Okay.
I didn't
But
say
you
that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans,
And your
Jodeci,
parents were
Mary J.
okay?
Blige. They didn't know nothing about this.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem.
Yeah.
I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
See?
Do you think we'll see any of these celebrities get caught in Diddy's web? Let us know in the comments.